We can also take all the information and randomly shuffle it around, as well as preset up the information we want in our multi-dimensional array. So for example, I'm going to take this and change it to a string. I'm going to call it people equals, and then I'm going to go ahead and put in just a couple random names. So I'm going to do the brace here and then hit enter. And we put the end of this brace, the semicolon, right here. But then it's really simple that we take each individual row of the multi-dimensional array and preset it up. So this here would be A, we'll do B. I'm just going to do 3 by 4. Do another end brace there. Do a comma after each one. And then you do another brace for the next row. D, E, F, and 1, comma. G, H, and we'll do J, and good enough. On the last one, you do not, yes, you still do need a comma, I would guess. Why is this airing out? Each and a file while parsing. Let me just double check that. Okay, you do not need a comma then. We do not need a comma. So that should fix that. And it still hasn't. So let's see if that space makes a difference. It does not. So we're going to pause and figure out what's going on. All I had to do was retype this brace here and it worked. I don't know. So that's why I was so confused, because it should have worked. So you see we have our 3 by 3 array here that we want to now randomize and move around. So we're going to perform the same kind of swap and do this inside of 2 for loops and look at each individual position and then move them around. So I'm going to do a for int I equals 0. If I can get that, that'd be great. Where'd my equals go? There you are. It's going to work just like the rows and columns random sort did. I becomes less than, even though I called it people, it's just letters, people.length, I plus plus, ends I loop. Repeat for the j, except remember j will run based off of position of I. J equals 0, semicolon, j becomes less than people of I dot length, j plus plus. And j loop, which controls columns. J is airing out because I didn't put int in front of it. For randomization, we create 2 more integers, int I1, which is a placeholder, and it's going to equal integer math.random times our array name dot length. Since j is associated with the column, j1 will equal integer math.random times the people of I dot length. So that checks to make sure if our array was disproportional, which we could still make it that. I could go here and I could add n, and I could make it completely disproportional, and that would be acceptable. That would work. So that checks to make sure that we can just shuffle it based off that row. And then we're going to perform the swap. And this happens still inside of both of these arrays. So integer temp equals, and again, this is all based off this, so instead of integer, I'm going to do the string temp equals people of I and j, because that is still the true number, so it puts it in a temporary holder. People of I and j, so it's going to move the piece to its new position, equals people of I1 and J1, and then moves the temp into that new position. So it's exactly like our swap was before. I1 and J1 equals temp. So we have that, and then we just need to perform the print out. I equals 0. You're going to really get to know for loops very well. People dot length I plus plus for int j equals 0. J becomes people of I dot length j plus plus ends j ends I system.out.print people of first the row, which is I, then the j. At the end of each row, we hit enter. Give it a run. We took our original list here, and it got shuffled around. Not very well. Let's see if it redoes it a different way. There's a better shuffle. It just kind of moved a few before, but now it moved G up beside C, which moved over to J, F, A, D. I was looking for a pattern because the last one kind of just had a shuffling pattern, but this one seems to be random each time. So that's how it goes. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is how you shuffle a multi-dimensional array.